It's the passing of the pick.
Ha
Hello. And hello.
The band started sometime in spring 2003. It was just Richard, Matt, and we had a few keyboardists and guitarists playing with us throughout the next few years. We just were writing throughout that time and playing shows until 2005 when we released our first album, Watch Your Step. And we continued to play shows to promote that album. Eventually it was just Richard, Matt, and I just playing shows as a three-piece. And Richard did leave the band in 2007, but we've since picked up a new bassist and now a keyboardist, and we're about ready to start performing shows to promote the new album, Delayed Reaction.
We named the record Delayed Reaction because it was a delayed reaction. We released Watch Your Step, our first record, in 2005 and decided that we're going to release our second record in 2006. And it is now 2010.
This time around, we had a lot more we were responsible for because it was pretty much only us in the studio, so we were acting as both the musicians and the engineers.
In every recording, there are three things that you want. You want it to sound good, you want it to be done fast, and you want it to be cheap. And we learned the hard way that you can only get two at a time. If you want it to sound good, but you want it done fast, it's going to cost you a lot of money. If you want it to be done fast and be very cheap, it's going to be good. Bad. It's going to sound really bad. And in our case, if you want it to sound good and you have no money, it's going to take you a long time, which is what happened. Because we didn't really have any money, we compensated for that by taking a lot of time to really perfect everything and go over every part and iron everything out, which I think paid off. In addition to that, both of us were really busy with school, and my dad fell ill. And
Richard leaving the band, equipment breaking down on us, me being at school, then Matt being at school, and me being at work, us just living in different cities and having to coordinate our schedules. It feels just very delayed, and that it should have come out a while ago, but in ways it has also benefited us to have taken this time and released it now.
Am I still doing this?
Yeah.
No cymbals? Wait.
Whoa. Like slower. Really slow.
Well, Richard had left the band a few years before we got to recording it, and that pretty much meant that I had to take on the responsibility of all bass parts, which wasn't too much of an issue for me because I was pretty comfortable playing them, and a lot of the bass parts I was used to, having been so involved in the writing of it. So that did add to my list of tasks, but I got it done with a certain amount of comfort. Matt had a lot more to deal with too because he was the mix engineer for this, so he was going to be dealing with all the post-production after the tracking. So we had quite a bit on our plates being just the two of us working on it, but it also allowed us to have a certain amount of control on our recording process, and as a result we could get into the very specific areas of our tracks and make sure everything we wanted to be perfect was perfect.
I always fuck up the last.
The first one might have been.
A different time, different life as a silhouette so near. We return to see the change, the difference is so clear.
I think the one thing that does set us aside from a lot of musicians is the fact that when we write the songs, there's no such thing as your guitar parts and my drums and your bass and all that. It's our cohesive writing process. So it just so happens that I play the drums, but they're not my drums. And they're not Nick's guitars or Nick's vocals. It's our vocals and so on and so on. So when we write for everybody together. So it comes up as a more, I guess, organic, for lack of better words, type of recording and type of songwriting.
Music has been pretty influenced by the bands, progressive bands from the 70s like Genesis, Yes, and Rush, as well as more current progressive bands like Porcupine Tree, Opeth, Mars Volta. So putting those things together, as well as different musical styles from all over the place, our music ends up being kind of progressive. So this could include like longer instrumental passages and lots of layering of different kinds of instruments. Very different sounding parts in one song, but at the same time I like to include a very accessible sound to it, which mixed with the progressive side creates kind of an interesting mix, wherein there might be very non-accessible parts to the average listener, but at the same time memorable or singable choruses and verses that kind of get in your head and are catchy.
Now that there are two extra members in the band, we finally feel like we're a full band, and that's how we always treated everything. Even though it was just Nick and myself for quite a while, we always had the mentality that this is a band recording a record. Just because the players were not there yet didn't change the fact that we recorded it as if there are 4 people on stage, which now there are 4 people on stage. So everything's good in the world.
The best part was probably when I came to Fanshawe to hear Matt's final mixes and masters, because it just acted as the symbolism of having finished everything the past number of years of recording. It finally came together and showed us what we've been working on, and it was just a very satisfying by that point.